Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay, let's do this. Let's go. Let's do this. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the Bible Study Devotional BMX Flatland Learning Stream, where you get to, I guess, peer in to these very awkward streams, where you just get to, I guess, see me fail over and over and over until we actually learn something. But you know what's weird is it's that one Bible verse that has totally changed my outlook of many, many things now. I mean, we might even have to just go into it again, right? About, about how Paul goes into talking about glorifying in his weaknesses. I find that, isn't that just strange? Like, I just find that just, man, that Bible verse just continually just hits me. I don't know, because I just feel like, many parts of our society, we want to just boast about the best aspects, right? But glorifying in your weaknesses, man, that's just such a, it's so paradoxical, but it reminds me of streaming a lot, right? If you really think about it, because you can't really edit out your mistakes. You just gotta go with it, man. And I think it's weird. And I apologize, by the way, if I'm confusing anybody with these Bible studies. I really hope I'm not confusing people. I know they're really cringy, they're really awkward. But that's why we're kind of doing them too, is because I don't know a lot of these things either. That's the other thing, is sometimes I like going in here because I do hear some other Bible studies and stuff, and it's very more just full on, they're totally confident, this is it, this is exactly it. And then I sometimes I feel like I'm not like that, right? So this is why we're kind of just going in here together and hopefully just trying to practice. I'd like to think that we're sowing some seeds out into the field where God has us placed, or just practicing casting our nets for the Lord. Sounds weird, right? But okay, let's get into it. So I did pick a couple verses that we might get into today. Let's see here. Let us see here. You know what? Actually, let's actually think about this, right? Because I actually kind of wanted to go. There was actually this one verse that we were going to go into. I was thinking about going into this verse right here. A tranquil heart gives life to the flesh, but envy makes the bones rot. Kind of thinking about that, but now I'm kind of thinking, I don't really think I went into the other one where it says the fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and whoever captures souls is wise, right? I honestly think I've brought this verse up so many times, but I actually don't think that I've really looked up a commentary on this, right? What does that even mean? The fruit of a righteous is a tree of life, and whoever captures souls is wise. See, because I'm actually rereading it over, and it's whoever. So does that mean anybody that is trying to capture souls? But then what does that mean? What does it mean to capture souls, right? That's this verse right here. What does it mean to capture souls? What is that? Right? I'm thinking about it because I think it reminds me of the whole thing about casting our nets, right? Because if we go into Matthew 4:19, it says, let's see here. What is Matthew 4:19 says, "Follow me and I will make you fishers of men." But now I'm wondering, are those verses even related? Do you think they're related? I'm actually not too sure. I think that's a combo, but now that I've never really I don't even think I've looked at many commentaries on it, to be honest. And he said to them, "Follow me and I will make you fishers of men." Right? Is that capturing souls? Right? So let's look up a commentary on that right now. Where's my phone at? Okay, right here. Oh. By the way, I apologize if I can't see. I'm not going to be able to see the chat. Twitch changed their UI thing, so I can see the chat later on because I'll open it up on my phone. But right now I can't see it because we're gonna look this stuff up. Okay, let's see here. By the way, I'm gonna chug some coffee. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, let's go. Let's do this. Let's go. So what does it mean to capture souls? What does that mean? I've looked at that verse so many times, and I just don't even I've never. Isn't it weird when you've just looked into a verse so many times and you look at it again and you go, wait a minute, what does it even mean to capture souls? Right? It's what in the. Let's see here. That's Proverbs 11:30. Proverbs 11:30 commentary. I'm so like curious. What are they gonna say? Have I even looked this one up? I haven't looked this. Dude, that's so weird. I've brought this verse up so many times. Now I'm like, it's strange because like I haven't even like none of these are even purpled. That means I haven't looked at it. Should we read the Got Questions one first, or should we read like an old commentary first? Let's read like a Got Questions one first. I feel like that is the Got Questions generally is more like modernized in terms of like how they speak. But the thing about the older commentaries, which I find kind of fun at times, is some of these older commentaries they write in such a degree where it's like it's almost very like poetic or illustrative. And they use these words that I think like most people don't normally use these words. And just think, and it's so strange, isn't it? Does anybody else find that strange? Like when you read like old commentaries, and then sometimes you read like the modern commentaries. Sometimes I feel like the modern commentaries right now are a lot more dry. They're a lot more like just fact based, like here's all these things, here's all these things. Whereas some of these older commentaries, they're very much more like flowy with their words, and it's very interesting. And it just makes me wonder, just even talking about that right there, right? It's just so strange thinking about like, now take this with a, I know I say take this with a grain of salt, but I mean, this is something that I find very odd, is that like, you know, like, cause I would like look up, cause you know, like I'm into drawing and painting and stuff, right? So the thing is I would like look up like biblical illustrations and stuff at times, right? And you know what I find is so bizarre is like back in the day, right? Like these churches would like illustrate these crazy pictures of like demons and hell and just all this like dark stuff, right? Like it looks gnarly. Like it's almost like and then I think about it in the modern sense and I go like it's so interesting to think if I were to show some of these like these paintings to some believers nowadays, they'd probably be like, bro, what is that? You need to get that, like that's like some Satan stuff or something, right? And I'm just like, and it'd just be so weird to tell them, well, a believer painted that like way like 100 like 300 years ago. You'd be like, what in the world? Like the church painted that? And I just find it so strange. I'm just like, because some of these paintings, man, they're dark, man. There's like some paintings where it's like the plague, and there's like, dude, there's straight up like just skeletons and just demons and like demons eating people and just like it's crazy, bro. I'm like, what in the world, dude? Like it's just another weird thing is they really like the big mouth thing where like people are literally getting eaten by this giant mouth. And I think it has something to do with like the gnashing of teeth, right? Because that's mentioned a lot in scripture about like gnashing of teeth, right? I mean, sometimes I think, is that why some of these older believers that illustrated these things, they illustrated like, you know, almost like you getting eaten alive, right? Like imagine just getting eaten alive. Like I think that reminds me of like gnashing of teeth. Is that what is gnashing of teeth? Let's look that up right now before I forget. What is gnashing of teeth? Gnashing of teeth, because it's mentioned a lot in the Bible, like a lot. The phrase gnash the teeth is found in Acts 7:54 in the story of the stoning of Stephen. The phrase was an expression of anger of the Sanhedrin towards Stephen before stoning. Okay, well, why does it say gnashing of teeth then? That doesn't make any sense, right? Huh. Let's read the Got Questions thing on gnashing of teeth. The precise phrase gnashing of teeth is found in several places in the Bible and is used exclusively in reference to the final judgment of sinners, where it is combined with either weeping or wailing. The Greek phrase gnashing of teeth literally means grinding one's teeth together. Surely part of what the gnashing of teeth communicates is pain, especially when the gnashing is combined with weeping. When a person hits his thumb with a hammer, he will commonly squeeze his eyes closed and grind his teeth together hard. The weeping and gnashing of teeth in Scripture, however, is much more dreadful, partly because it lasts for eternity. Okay, so do you think that's why I'm wondering if that's why a lot of these older, dude, some of these older like paintings of like, dude, they're really, really gnarly. And it's just so strange to think like, because you know, like you go into most churches and I just feel like that's like almost so like That's like the last thing you think that you would see in a church in our modern society, right? Like you go in and that you think that would be like the last thing you'd see, right? And it's just so strange that like back in the day, like that's what why am I even talking about this? I don't even know how I even got into. How did I? These Bible studies are so weird. How do I get into these topics? Oh wait, it's because we're talking about older commentaries and newer commentaries. That's why we got into it, because of the different styles. Anyway, I need to get back into what we were talking about. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and whoever captures souls. I don't know. Okay, we're scratching all the other stuff. I'm getting way too distracted by the other stuff. Let's go into back into Proverbs 11:30. Okay, let's read Proverbs 11:30. Oh yeah, we're gonna read the Got Questions one. Got questions on this verse right here. This is the one we're going into. What does it mean to? What does it mean that he who wins souls is wise? Okay, let's see here. Most of us think of soul winning as a New Testament concept, but a related idea exists in the Old Testament. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he who wins souls is wise. Proverbs 11:30. A similar passage is found in Daniel 12:3. Those who are wise will shine as bright as the sky, and those who lead many to righteousness will shine like the stars forever. Wow. Daniel 12:3, huh? That almost reminds me of Matthew 5:16, isn't it? And those who, Daniel 12:3, huh? Wow. And those who were wise shall shine like the brightness of the sky above, and those who turn many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. Dude, that reminds me of Matthew 5:16 right there, or 14 through 16. Let's go back to that one. Matthew 5:14 through 16. Let's see here. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Man, that verse still trips me out. I'm wondering if that one's even related to Daniel 12:3. It's so strange that the Lord Jesus Christ has good works, right? I always wonder, is works related to the whole thing about working for 6 days a week? I have no idea, right? I wonder what the Lord thinks about that. Anyway, let's see here. Okay, let's go back to Proverbs 11:30. Proverbs 11:30 turns out to be a difficult verse to interpret, and translators have rendered it in various ways. Some translations are close to the New King James Version. He who wins souls is wise. The one who is wise saves lives, the NIV. One who is wise gains soul, NSAB. And the one who wins people is wise, ISV. For example, but other translations take the Hebrew wording differently. A wise person wins friends. If you act wisely, others will follow. And even violence takes lives. Proverbs 11:30. The word wins in Proverbs 11:30 can mean attracts, suggesting that the wise person attracts others to wisdom and the tree of life, produced by a righteous life. As he draws people to himself, the wise person can offer them sound instruction. This idea fits with the first part of the verse. A righteous person has life-giving influence in the way good fruit attracts one to a tree. The New Living Translation aligns with this notion of attraction, stating the seeds of good deeds becomes a tree of life, and a wise person wins friends. Some translators apply the phrase win souls to the concept of doing good to others, as in the NLT, but the Hebrew word can also mean to capture or take possession. Using this sense, the English Standard Version renders the verse, whoever captures souls is wise. Win souls can also mean to take lives or destroy lives, as presented in the Holem Christian Standard Bible. And the Christian Standard Bible, translated this way, Proverbs 11:30, becomes a study in contrast with the second part of the verse, antithetical to the first. The righteous person gives life,
but the unrighteous person will connive to take it away. Most certainly, the phrase win souls in Proverbs 11:30 does not mean evangelism, as in the full New Testament sense of winning souls for Christ. However, it is likely that a similar principle is involved. Bible commentator Matthew Henry explains the term like so: he that is wise by communicating his wisdom wins souls, wins upon them to bring them in love with God and holiness, and so wins them over into the interests of God's kingdom among men. Well, wouldn't that be the same thing about... Wouldn't that be the same as evangelism, that last sentence right there? And so wins them over into the interests of God's kingdom? They said it wasn't about evangelism, and then the last sentence... did I just read... I feel like that last sentence that I just read, it almost just said, like, the very thing that they... I don't know. Let's see here. By their righteous living, wise people attract other people as well. By their righteous living, wise people attract other people, and as a result can turn many souls away from foolishness and toward righteousness. Those that would win souls have need of wisdom to know how to deal with them, and those that do win souls show that they are wise. Explains Henry. James puts it this way: whoever brings back a sinner from his wandering will save his soul from death. What's that? Let's read that. That's James 5:20. Let him know that whoever brings back a sinner from his wandering will save his soul from death and will cover a multitude of sins. What does that mean right there? And will cover a multitude of sins. Intriguing. What does the KJV version say? Where is it? Let him know that he which converteth the sinner from the error of his way shall save a soul from death and shall hide a multitude of sins. Why does it say hide a multitude of sins? It confuses me. Isn't that strange? Like, look at that. That is James 5:20. I wonder why it says hide a multitude of sins, huh? I find that very interesting. Anyway, that we're getting a little... I'm trying to keep on track today. I know I would probably get into that and we'd look up commentaries about that one, right? We're going to keep going, okay? So ultimately, I think if we just think about James 5:20, it's just knowing that, I guess, it's very good to try and, save some people's into, what's going down. Okay, let's see here. One of the Bible's leading authorities on soul winning was the Apostle Paul. He wrote, "Even though I am a free man with no master, I have become a slave to all people to bring many to Christ. When I was with the Jews, I lived like a Jew, to bring the Jews to Christ. When I was with those who follow the Jewish law, I lived too under that law, even though I am not subject to that law, to the law. I did this so I could bring to Christ those who are under the law. When I am with the Gentiles who do not follow the Jewish law, I too live apart from that law so I can bring them to Christ. But I do not ignore the law of God. I obey the law of Christ. When I am with those who are weak, I share their weakness, for I want to bring the weak to Christ. Yes, I find common ground with everyone." That is such a gnarly thing, even reading 1 Corinthians 9:20. Look at that. I try to find common ground with everyone. I feel like sometimes that's not occurring right now, right? I know sometimes I feel like there are, sometimes I feel like maybe this is why, the Bible does mention things about divisions, right? Because but what I am kind of confused about is, where is the line that gets drawn where something is a division, right? Where is that line that gets drawn? Because I feel like if we read 1 Corinthians 9:19 through 22, which we just did right there, and it said, "I try to find common ground with everyone," it just seems like sometimes that's not going down, right? I feel like sometimes it's instead of trying to find common ground with everyone, sometimes it feels like, no, I feel like I get this sense of oh no, we gotta be over with this clique over here, or we're part of this clique over here, and we're not gonna chill with you guys, but it's it's so strange that Paul would say he's trying to find common ground with everyone. Isn't that strange, right? That's so man, it's just so weird. It's just such a, man, it's just such a, sometimes I feel like there's so many things that are divided in our society that we don't even realize that they're divided. Or maybe we don't even realize it is just dividing people. I don't know, right? But I guess this is the interesting thing about, man, this is the very, very interesting thing about God's word, right? Because sometimes, like, when I read it, when I'll read some verses and then, like, I kind of, like, observe things, I go, man, like, because I feel like I have forgotten about this verse too, right? So it's like, I'm wondering, like, if I've forgotten about this verse, imagine all the other people that have probably forgotten about this verse too, right? I don't know, man. Like, you know, it's such an interesting thing. Okay, let's see here. And he says, doing everything I can to save some. Wow. What does the ESV version of that say? 1 Corinthians 9:19. That is the verses that we just read. And it's weird that man, I can't believe I have never realized that combo. I always bring up, like, the fishers of men combo, right? With the one that we just go into. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and whoever captures souls is wise. But man, 1 Corinthians 9:19, dude, that is like a really, really big combo right there. 1 Corinthians 9, let's see here. 9:19. What does this one say? Let's read it in here. For though I am free from all, I have made myself a servant to all, that I might win more of them. To the Jews I became as a Jew in order to win Jews. To those under the law I became as one under the law, though not being myself under the law, that I might win those under the law. To those outside the law I became as one outside the law, not being outside the law of God, but under the law of Christ, that I might win those outside the law. That I might win those outside. So that's very interesting. So, you know what? This kind of reminds me about, you know, when Christ says something about he's going to send us as sheep in the midst of wolves. Is that what he says? Something like that? I'm sending you out. I'm sending you out as sheep amongst wolves. What verse is that? I'm sending you out as sheep. Okay, that's Matthew 10:16. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Bro, that's so interesting. That's another word that says wise. Now, that was the KJV version. It says wise, right? So what's weird is that the verse that we're covering today about Proverbs 11:30, right? It brings up the word wise because I've underlined it, right? That's so strange, right? And so it's strange because, like, in James 1, it says we are to ask God for wisdom, right? We are to ask God for wisdom, and he gives abundantly to all, right? And I feel like it's so strange just thinking about, it's so weird when you actually, like, underline the word wise, right? When you start, that's what I've tried to do, right? I've tried to, like, underline the word wise, right? Especially in Proverbs. Proverbs brings it up a lot. But see how, like, so I'll bring up this verse, right? So, like, that's why I don't know if you could see it, but, like, I've underlined the word wise with, like, that teal color right there. And I just find it strange when I, like, see other verses and then they, like, mention things about being wise, right? And I go, oh, wait, wisdom or wise. And I think about all these other verses, right? And there's so many verses that I feel like I can't even remember them all. But I feel like this one right here I have, for some reason, it's so easy to remember. It's like a sentence long, right? The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and whoever captures souls is wise, right? And it's just so strange that this is some of the words of the Lord Jesus Christ. It says, behold, I am sending you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Huh. That's weird. And then it's strange that we were going into this one right here. Let's see here. That I might win those outside the law. To the weak I became weak, that I might win the weak. I have become all things to all people, that by all means I might save some. I do it all for the sake of the gospel, that I may share with them in its blessings. Huh. Do you not know that in a race all runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it. Every athlete exercises self-control in all things. They do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we an imperishable. So I do not run aimlessly or box as one beating the air, but I discipline my body and keep it under control. Man, that's a very interesting one. It's so interesting when I reread a verse and I go, wait a minute, that's such a strange thing, right? Because sometimes I won't go like, I wonder if, since I've forgotten that verse, I'm wondering like how many other believers have probably forgotten that verse, right? It's so strange just thinking about that. Isn't that just strange to think about? Like just trying to be one with everybody? Like, let's see here. I try to find common ground with everyone, doing everything I can to save some. I think it's a good one, right? I think that's such an important word right there. Everyone, right? It's not just like, oh, we have to find common ground with that clique over there, or that one over there, or that one. No, Paul is saying he's trying to find common ground with everybody, man. That is such a gnarly thing to do, man. I'm really gonna try and be aware of that more, man. You know, it's like, I feel like that's very important, right? So I feel like everybody does deserve love and stuff like that, you know, but sometimes I feel like what's going on is like sometimes I get this sense of like that there's now I don't want to like judge other believers in some degree, but sometimes I feel like there is a sense of like a fire and brimstone type of thing where it's just like you're going to hell, like, you know, really soon or something like that, right? And sometimes I feel like I got to like take a step back and be like, wait a minute, even if I'm thinking about winning souls, right? Sometimes I feel like, now take this with a grain of salt, right? Sometimes I feel like some believers almost like want to do the judging of Christ themselves or something like that. Like they want to be, and sometimes I think like, man, isn't Christ the one to ultimately judge who's really going to be going to like, you know, hell and stuff? And I sometimes I have to go, man, I don't know if I should be like, yeah, I don't know, you know, like I feel like there's some confusions within that, and sometimes I have to take a step back and be like, wait, am I trying to win souls to Christ, or am I just repelling more souls away, right? Sometimes I actually think about that greatly, actually. Man, very interesting. Sorry if this Bible study is confusing. I actually did not think that it was going to get this deep, but it did. There was a big combo, there was a combo string that it was probably the biggest combo string, and the only combo string that I knew. See, here's the thing about me, right? So it's like when I thought about Proverbs 11:30, the only combo I had in my mind was Matthew 4:19, right? He says, "Follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men," right? That's the only combo I knew. But now we've gotten into a whole new combo, and this is a long combo about Paul talking about, you know, becoming all things to everybody. It's very interesting. Okay, let's continue on with this commentary. Paul lived in such a way that would attract other people to himself, or rather to Christ. He sought to find common ground with anyone and everyone in the hopes of winning their souls for God's kingdom. No one can deny the wisdom of his approach. If we desire to be one who wins souls, we want to be wise. We will follow Paul's example. The fruit of the constantly righteous is a tree of life, and he who captures souls and wins souls for God, he gathers them for eternity. Proverbs 11:30 AMP. Man, and that was on Got Questions, by the way. That was the Bible commentary. Man, I did not think it was going to get that deep. I literally thought it was going to be like, oh yeah, we're going to just be fishing for soul. It's actually weird. They didn't even mention that verse. They didn't even mention the verse that I thought of a combo, right? Because I always thought that it comboed out with, Matthew 4:19, right? Well, maybe we'll go a little bit into that, right? And he said to them, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Right? Let's look at that right there, right? What does it mean to be a fisher of men? What does it mean to be a fisher of men? Fisher of men is a phrase used in the Gospels to describe the mandate given by Jesus to his first disciples, the first brother fishermen, Simon, who called Peter, and Andrew, who were casting a net into the Sea of Galilee. Right now, so that's the other thing, right? And that we have to take into context with that, right? is that Jesus was talking to Simon and Andrew, right? Yeah, Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, right? But what's weird is when I've looked up sermons on Matthew 4:19 about becoming fishers of men, right? So many pastors, I actually think every single sermon I've ever listened to about Matthew 4:19 always equates it to us as believers. Like if we start to follow Christ, Christ wants us to become fishers of men, right? But what's weird, now take this with a big grain of salt too, because what's strange is that when Jesus said that to those guys, they were actually working at the time, right? And they were fishermen, right? Like they literally, like they were fishing, right? And what's weird is thinking about like that, and then thinking about the verse and like about working for 6 days a week, right? So that's just strange. So are we to like, if we follow Christ, are we to try and fish for souls 6 days a week or something like that? I have no idea, right? So take that with a big grain of salt. I'm not sure. But I'm just wondering, like, what would the Lord say to me right there? With that very thing that I just asked, what would the Lord, like, say to me? Like, because I looked up that already, and I can't really find too much stuff. There's actually a split. Some people say that those works mean the same thing, and some people don't, and I don't know. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Okay, let's see here. Let's go on Christianity.com. What is it going to say? What does it mean to... This is what we're reading, by the way. What does it mean to be fishers of men? Fishing is unpredictable. There is no guarantee of reward. It requires patience and risk. In faith, the fishermen would throw their nets into the deep water, letting it sink into the lake out of sight, and hoping the reward for their efforts would be a catch. If you're anything like me, you want to follow the Bible, especially the words in red print where Jesus was talking. If you're also like me, sometimes there are biblical phrases and expressions that can confuse you. One such phrase is when Jesus calls us to be fishers of men. Preachers love to call this phrase out of the pulpit, quoting Mark 1:17, where Jesus himself said, "Follow me and I will make you become fishers of men." But we cannot literally fish for people. So what are we supposed to do with that? Whenever I am confused by a passage, I first look at the context surrounding it. Taking a look at the few verses before this one, we can understand more. Jesus is walking up to two fishermen who were in the act of throwing their fishing nets into the water. I love how Jesus always seems to meet people where they are and speaks to them in a way that they can understand. See, that is such a... Man, that verse, that's not a verse, that's just an observation, because this is actually what the Lord Jesus Christ does do a lot, right? Let's just read this again. I love how Jesus always seems to meet people where they are and speaks to them in a way that they can understand, right? Sometimes I almost feel like that right there can be very, I feel like some believers can even judge that, right? Like how God could be speaking to some people, right? Because I feel like some believers might go, oh, well, that's not the right, that is not the, there's no seeds of faith in there. There's nothing that God's going to use on that. But what if God can sometimes talk to us in ways that relate to us, and but I guess that's all subjective, right? And it's very, I find that very interesting, right? And that's the interesting part about thinking about little seeds of faith, right? Just like the little seeds of faith. And it just makes me think about that thing that I've asked and I can't really find too many answers of, right? Or I guess not answers, but I haven't found any commentaries, right? So imagine you had imagine there was a platter of just all these pots, right? And there was one of the 10,000 pots out here, right? 7,000 pots out here, right? Only one of these pots had barely a little seed of faith. Even the littlest, you can't even, maybe even hardly tell was a little seed of faith. But there was something about that little seed of faith that you're like, that's strange. And it made you think about something about God, right? Would you pick that pot, or would you pick another pot that had nothing to do related, like, I feel like for me, if I was to think that I'm to try and, acknowledge God in all my ways, I feel like I would try and maybe pick that little seed of faith, right? Right, even if it seemed very, I don't know though, right? So this is what's making me think about that. Okay, let's see here. They did not go to school, so they wouldn't necessarily understand educated speech. They did not go to the temple often, so wouldn't know expressions used by the religious leaders. This tells me that no matter your career, education, or understanding, Jesus is calling you to go and follow him. They were fishermen, doing their regular everyday jobs when Jesus came to them and called them to follow him with an analogy that they have understood. They would have known better than anyone what Jesus was asking them to do. But what is he asking us to do in this analogy? See, that's the strange thing to think about, right? So does that what I just read right there, right? Where they go into they were actually fishermen, and then Jesus comes up to him and says, "Oh, well, I will make you fishers of men," right? So thinking that was their everyday work, like that what this commentary is saying, does that everyday work correlate to working for 6 days a week? And then when Jesus comes up to them and says, follow me and I'll make you fishers of men. Are we called as believers to fish for men 6 days a week? I have no idea, right? So I've asked this question in somewhat different ways, and there's like a split. Some believers say, oh, well, it is relating to that. Some believers say, no, it's not related to that. Those two things are different. But then when I read this commentary, I go, that's so strange. They're doing their everyday jobs, and then Jesus comes up to them and calls them to follow him, right? It's just it's odd, right? Anyway, let's see here. What does it mean to be fishers of men? Cast our nets. As a fisherman casting his net out into the water, Jesus was asking them to cast the gospel message out to the people and try to catch men's hearts. Fishing is unpredictable. There is no guarantee of reward. It requires patience and risk. In faith, the fishermen would throw their nets into the deep water, letting it sink into the... Wait, did I just read? It's because they covered this couple sentences in the top of the commentary. Fish will not jump into the boat. Fishers must search for them and take a risk by throwing their nets into the water. Could they possibly go through a bunch of work and never get a single fish? Absolutely. That happened multiple times in Scripture, but the risk was worth the reward. Right? I think that's an interesting thing, because sometimes I feel like I have noticed some believers get discouraged, right? Especially on Twitch at times, right? They go, oh, well, it doesn't seem like it's working out. It's all this stuff. I'm not getting many viewers or something. But I like to think about that one verse. If one soul changes their ways, it's cause for great rejoice, right? If even just one person, if you were to change one soul, even if it's just that one soul, what if God placed you at that very moment for just catching that one soul out there, right? So I don't know, right? I mean, man, it's interesting to think about. Anyway, let's see here. In the same way, this is our model for evangelism. We take the story of Christ and the message of what he has done for us, and we speak it out into the world around us. We can always see under the surface and know if the message... Can we always see under the surface and know if the message is working? No. Do we sometimes share the gospel and see no response? Yes, it happens all the time. Like fishing, speaking out the gospel is a risk. Sometimes people will get saved and other times they won't. I've had moments when I shared the gospel with a crowd and 50 came forward and gave their lives to Jesus. I have had other times when I shared and not a single person responded. Is the reward of winning a heart for Jesus worth the risk and effort of getting out there and sharing? Absolutely. Fish will never be caught unless a net is cast, and people will never get saved unless we speak out. But how can they call on him to save them unless they believe in him? And how can they believe if they have never heard about him? And how can they hear about him unless someone tells them? Romans 10:14. Interesting. Man, this is actually a really long commentary. Darn, I don't know if I'm going to finish it, everybody. I'm sorry. I actually really tried to speed... I keep saying I try and speed these Bible studies up, but man, it's I don't know. It's I feel like if I split it up into 2 days, right? I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's something about just getting into a Bible study and then thinking about it, and then it just and then you're just kind of searching for it, right? And then something else happens and you go, okay, well, there's that combo, and we go and look into that one. right? And I feel like if I were to just split that into 2 days, it would just be like, I wouldn't have the same like momentum energy that I got into it in the first place. I don't know. That's what I'm feeling out like right now. I just feel like it would be like more boring or something. Maybe not boring, but just more like, I don't know. I don't know what it would be. Anyway, I guess we'll just leave it. I guess that was the Bible study. Holy moly, man. These Bible studies are gnarly. Okay. Well, this one was a little bit quicker. Anyway. So, what do we call it? Let's try and just keep casting our nets out, right? Hopefully to win people over to Christ, right? Now, are we supposed to do that 6 days a week? I have no idea. I have no idea, man. I have no idea. Take it with a grain of salt. But right now, it's like, that's the weird thing, right? Because it's like, that's the other strange thing is I'm trying to ride my bike that much. So it's like, then I think about, well, if I can ride my bike that much, why can't I just share the gospel that much, right? I don't know, man. I don't even know, bro. Anyway, take my word as a grain of salt. If you guys are confused, please look it up. Please tell me too, because that's the other thing. That's the strange thing. I feel like the only critique I've gotten out of doing this probably, I think I've only maybe done it like 300 times now, in terms of like the Bible studies, maybe even longer, because I know we're on stream I think 531, but I have been uploading my old streams on my YouTube, and I'm starting to realize that it actually took a gradual thing for me even to get into the Bible studies. Because at first I was just like opening up the Bible, just reading a one verse, and I'd get into writing, right? I didn't even, and then I slowly started getting into like the Bible studies, right? But there was one critique that I got from somebody that said it, and they said that sometimes I don't speak my periods correctly or something like that. Like I have trouble with my periods or something, and run-on sentences and stuff. And so I've been really trying. I actually forgotten about that. I actually need to make sure I like start doing it, because that's the other weird thing, right? I don't know. A strange critique, huh? But I think it's an important one, because that's one that I've remembered. Somebody said to me, so I've tried to remember it. If you're out there watching that, thank you for giving me that. I feel like sometimes it's a little, I think sometimes that would be awkward too, like telling somebody a critique, right? Because I feel like that would actually be maybe a good thing to do, but sometimes it is awkward to say that, right? Especially like if there is potentially other people watching, right? Like if you said, hey, you need to do it this way, or here's a critique, and then other people are seeing you say that, I think it'd be a little awkward, right? But I don't know, the thing about it is we got to revel in our weaknesses, right? So hopefully somebody says something, right? These Bible studies are so strange. People where I just think I'm crazy. I don't even know, man. Oh well. I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to. I'm sorry, Lord, if I'm not glorifying you. I'm trying to, man. We're trying. I guess that's what matters, right? We're trying. I guess it's better to try than not to try, right? Even if I mess up or something. Okay, let's do a card draw. Let's do a card draw. By the way, that's not tongues that I'm speaking. By the way, I don't know what that is. I'm just kind of just messing around. I know there's some controversial. I had to like I'm like, wait a minute, I'm just making some sound. I have to reiterate, I don't really know what talking in tongues really is, to be honest, but I know some people, I've heard some believers, and there's like a controversial thing that people say, well, that's not speaking in tongues. I don't know what, I'm just having fun, okay? I'm just like, that's not me, just like, I'm just trying to have some fun. We're just trying to have fun at this point, right? Because there was actually this one thing that I did listen to, right, about some like Olympic athletes, right, and how they like train and stuff. And some of the Olympic athletes, what they would say is that the people that had fun were the ones that actually stuck to it the longest, right? And it's kind of, and I guess that's the thing is sometimes we can get really, really serious about things. And sometimes I feel, and then just thinking about like what Olympic athletes, you know, sometimes it's like, if there's Olympic athletes that are saying the ones that kept having fun are the ones that stuck with it the longest, right? So it's like, you know, sometimes it's good to try and find the fun in it all. Okay, let's see here. Man, I really want to learn the backyard today, though. I've been trying to learn the backyard for months now. Oh my goodness, bro. When is the day I'm gonna actually learn this trick, bro? It is taking forever. It's taken a very, very long time. I think the backyard, like no-hander and just locomotive are starting to rise up above the longest tricks that have been taking me to learn. Okay, let's see here. Oh yeah, we're gonna do a card draw. Card draw, card draw, card draw, card draw, card draw, card draw. Okie dokie. Okay, let's cut this. Boop, 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 boop. Shoo, shoo. First card is a island. Waterfall Island. Waterfall City Island. Second card. Another land. New Benalia. Reminds me of Final Fantasy The Spirits Within. Number 3. Ah. Interesting. We have Elvish Visionary. I do like the elves. I like the elves. And I like this flavor text. It says, from a tiny sprout the greatest trees grow and flourish. May the seeds of your mind be equally fruitful. I like how they use the word fruitful. And remember, there is that one verse in John. It says, herein is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit. God wants us to bear a lot of fruit. Ooh, I like this card. Angelic Armaments. Look at that mace up here. Dude, that one looks crazy. Dude, imagine just seeing an angel with a mace, bro. Like, that would be brutal. Like, imagine just getting a hammer, just like, whoop, whoop. 1, 2, 3, 5. Man, we're getting a lot of lands today. Mistveil Plains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next. Ooh, Angel of Vitality. We like vitality in here. Okay, so one of the reasons why I like the word vitality is when you played Hardcore Diablo, you know, Hardcore Diablo is when you die, your character dies. Vitality was actually the most important stat. Your health thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, last card. 7. Ooh, Staff of the Wild Magus. This reminds me of Aaron's budded staff. Okay, let me put this on here. I'm gonna do a little Instagram thing. I can actually make it look a lot more neatly ordered. Neatly ordered. Okay, I'll be done right here. Just in a little bit. Okay. And we'll get into bike riding. I know I think people don't really watch the bike riding. I think people just listen to the Bible studies more because there's not really a scene on Twitch for BMX, but that'd be cool. Imagine if there was a big scene for BMX on Twitch. That'd be crazy, huh? I feel like I would never have gotten into Bible studies then. But that's the other thing. Maybe God ordered things that way for people just to get into their Bible studies. Okie dokie. Wait up. I need this. There we go. Greetings, travelers. Welcome to the card draw thing. Okay, we got an island. We got New Benalia. We got Elvish Visionary, Angelic Armaments, Mistveil Plains, and Angel of Vitality, and Staff of the Wild Magus. Kind of reminds me of Aaron's Budded Staff. I also like this card too. Angelic Armaments. You can imagine seeing like angels with like... Does anybody know why do clerics and paladins always have the mace weapon? Isn't that... Does anybody find that strange? It's like for some odd reason every RPG archetype, like the cleric and paladin, and I don't know why they always have a mace. Anyway. Farewell, everybody. Okay, there we go. Da-la-la-la-la. Oh, man. Okay, let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I wish I could listen to copyrighted music on here. Well, I guess I can listen to copyrighted music on here, but the rod is going to silence it, but... Anybody's still in here? Nope, nobody's in here. Okay, now I can just chill for a little bit while we chug some coffee. Cheers, everybody. Boom, 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 boom. Do 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 do. Whoa. Intriguing. Bro, there's this one Christian streamer and he plays a lot of WoW. That dude's throwing the net out there, because I've been seeing him. He does these long streams, bro. For some reason, he's playing a paladin too. He mains a paladin. It's Susie Live, this guy. See, sometimes that's how I find a lot of you guys. I find a lot of you guys because I look up the Christian tag, right? There's one of those dudes. That dude right there. He's literally live right there. Look at him playing a paladin. But I've been seeing him like live a lot. He's always like almost at the top. I think my tag might be not working because I never see the stream up on here. I guess not many people really watch it, but oh well. If there's one soul that maybe needs to hear something that we said today. Do 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 do. Alright, I'll be right back. And writing. Then we will get to the writing. Uh, let's do this. Man, oh my goodness. I just gotta laugh at these these streams are weird. These streams are very odd. Alright, let's see this. Let's go! Let's try and have some fun! I need to try and be more joyous, right? Let us remember to try and be joyous. Even though these tricks are frustrating and they test me. They are fun though. I would stop doing them if they were not fun, by the way. Alright, let's put this a little bit more down and over here. Okay, let's see, there we go. Alright, let's try and learn. Try and grind these tricks out to me. We can get a little closer. I ran out of battery on this thing. Music for a little bit. Oh yeah, let's practice, let's warm up with backyard no-handers. I'm gonna try and be more joyous doing these. I say these things are hard for me anyway right now. People probably just think I'm crazy. If you were, yeah, man, these streams are just so weird because especially just like trying to learn this trick that's been taking me forever, right? Maybe everybody has trouble with this trick. I don't know, but when they do it, they make it look way easier. Oh, that's it. That was close. That was a good one for the second one. Dude, that trick just feels so crazy. It like just seems like something that it's like relearning how to ride a bike. That's basically what it feels like. We're relearning how to ride a bike, but backwards and with no hands. I almost let it. No, we were so close. It's okay. Let's not give up. I think I saw someone do a foot jam tail whip into one. Let's try that. How did he do it? I think. Did he do a fire hydrant? Let's see, how did they do that? Oh, I think they just did a normal foot jam. Normal foot jam. Let's go. Man, I listened to something with Trevor Meyer, and he said that like he would just like practice the same trick, just like. It's like, man, how long? I'm wondering like how many. What does that entail? Just an entire session of you just doing the same trick? I have no idea, right? I think this trick might be going up the list. It's one of the hardest ones I'm trying to learn. It's just super inconsistent. You have to just be so on it. Like you can't. Like there's like this little like. I don't know. It's weird. It's just strange. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it anymore. It is hard. Like you got to get like the bar at this right angle. That's what makes it hard. Like you gotta like go like this, and then do that. Grab it right here. Put your hand behind the back. Do it. And then this is the hard part. You have to get the angle like right to get like the pressure to take your hands off. And like getting that angle when it's behind your back, like, I don't know, it's just weird. It feels like you're kind of like going into a blind. Because I can't really like, I feel like when I go into it and like I put my foot to do that one scuff, I can't really like see like my tire at what angle it is. It's like, I think maybe that's what makes it hard. Almost. Good news cigar. That was a cool one. Yes. Dude, it feels so good to land a line. I don't care if it looks boring to people. It's just like, yeah, it's just so rewarding. Like, I was not expecting to land that line today. Or like first tee, actually. That was like first time trying it. Or not, like I've landed that line before, but I'm starting to get it a little bit more consistently. Yay! We did it! Man, you guys have such a... I mean, I shouldn't be complaining. At least we have this. All right, locomotive time. You can snap into it. Do 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 do. By the way, how I keep, man, I wish like when I got this frame it was actually raw, right? And like I've tried to paint it with spray paint, but it always gets dirty again. So what I end up doing is I just put tape on it. Sounds weird, but that's what I've been doing lately. It's like wrapping it. I do miss kind of having like just a black bike, right? Because you could just get it really, really dirty, right? And just it look clean still. Yep. That seems to be right. So I'm gonna just put a new stick there. Put another cross in here. More crosses, more crosses. There we go. Oh, that one's gonna show more. Boom. Oh, that one looks like a definitive cross now. A white cross. I guess in a survival situation, you could probably use this tape as well. I know it sounds really cheesy, but I could use it in a survival situation. Okay, let me get this to the right degree. Basically just wrapping our bike up. Oh, darn it. Keep messing with that. They put a new coat of paint on. Sounds cheesy, right? There we go. I guess I should put one on there. It's kind of janky right there. All right, locomotive. I haven't even gone into a good one today. Gotta be patient. Gotta be joyful. I feel like sometimes we get frustrated that it's just like doesn't seem like I'm joyous. We need to be joyous on all occasions, right? It's pretty cool right there. I don't like that. The trick is always just hard. Oh my goodness. It's so fun though. It's like hard, but it's just fun. Fudge. Ah, it's close. You mess up one thing, the thing just breaks. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Alright, this one's Orion Nyquist. Orion Nyquist! The OG of OGs. Oh, that's not it. I did a bar about that. I can't even believe people do that like in the air and just land. There's people that go like 4 feet up in the air and just land like that. Oh, that was almost it. Oh, I'm so close. Darn. That combo's just... It always gets me, man. I always just end up giving up on it, too. I know I do a lot of gyrators, but now this gyrator combo is actually hard for me. I can't, like, get into it a lot. It's because of the exit bar. The exit bar is hard. I always just, like, end up, like, I don't know. Something about it's just weird. Oh, I almost did it. Oh, I'm always scared I'm gonna like jam my fingers on this. Luckily, it's not like bunny hop bars. Otherwise, I probably would jam my fingers. Come on. Okay, so what I'm trying to, I want to like do, what always gets me is like I do the X up, and then like I do a bar, and I don't know if it like why, but it always like ends up going like this. I think it's because it's from an X up and you're doing a regular bar, so it goes back into the half bar, right? Like X up bar. Dude, I want to see someone do an X up bar in the air. I want to see someone do bar, switch X up, regular X up bar, like no hander in the air. Aye, fudge. Oh, it's not now. Ah. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Ah, darn. Yeah, buddy. You I need to like work on things I'm not good at. Let's work on our weaknesses. I need to like, but I guess that is a weakness because I haven't landed very much. Let's do a locomotive. That is a weakness for sure. I have not landed one. Yeah, let's do it. We need to just ingrain this in our muscle memory. Sure does kind of look like a cross a little bit. So. Let's try to do it. Let's try and lift up our hands for the Lord. Oh, I almost got caught in there. Okay, I need to. We're not getting frustrated today. We're gonna remain joyous. Try to anyway. That trick is crazy, bro. One day, we will have it like Kevin Jones. Let's do it first try every time. The timing's hard. You really gotta like be super like committed to it. It doesn't work if you're not committed. Tape, it's all broken up. It kind of makes it look like my cables go into my frame. It's kind of cool. I've seen some frames like there's actually some mountain bikes that are like doing that now. I mean, I think it would destroy their structural integrity, but it's cool. Loopy today, man. Loopified. Wrap this up, dude. Righteous brothers. That's funny. Gnarly dudes. Let's shred the gnar. Shred the gnar, dude. Gnarcore, dude. Oops. Come on, buddy. Come on, Mr. Potato Lito. There we go. That looks crazy, actually. Dude, that looks insane. It looks like it's like part of my frame now. Do an under. I've never done an Undertaker 2 sticky. What am I going to do after this one? Yeah, let's try and do sticky after this. Hard on this bike. Good song. Oh, good song, man. It's a good song, bro. Messed up my hand. So glad I didn't put my hand in my spokes. That could have been brutal. Thank God I didn't get hurt. Oh, I almost messed my fingers up right there. That was close. I almost put my hand in my wheel. I almost like, that was scary. That was scary. Oh, we got a new one. We got a new line up in here. I gotta like get it from the right angle. Which was close, but no cigar. I gotta get like that angle right, man. Why is this so hard? Why can't I do it? Okay, so go over here, hit this thing, go back down. Okay, we get this kickflip line. Bro, I'm gonna try and do the Ulta kickflip line. This is the Ulta kickflip line. We're going for as many kickflips as we ever had. We're setting a new PR for kickflips. Ah, almost. Oh, I keep messing that up. I can't do it, man. It's hard. I'm failing. That was sketchy. That was kind of it, right? There we go. That was kind of it. That's what I was going for. Almost. That was fun. Yippee. That was good. That was good. Good. That was nice. You got 2 lines down. Oh, you know what this thing I think is not on here correctly. It needs to be like that. Yeah, buddy. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, 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 yep. Should we redo the line?
It's kind of janky. It's a little sketchy, but I didn't put my peg on it. I wonder if I could do oh well. We did that one, that tired me out. Let's go back into locomotive. Let's go back into locomotive mode. I need the right song for this one. Let's put this song on. Yeah. Man, we're tired today. We're tired. Oh, you know, we should maybe run. I'm gonna go look at the weather outside. I'll be back. I know no one's really watching today, but I'm gonna watch.
Ah. Hoopla, 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 blah, 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 boo. Ooh. Bro, how do you guys stream for so long? Some of these guys, holy moly, bro. Some of these guys do like 16-hour streams like every single day. It's crazy. You guys are gnarly. I feel like I do like a 3-hour stream, and I feel like a 3-hour stream is long. Man, these guys are doing it for like 16 hours a day, bro. This is gnarly, dude. Oh my goodness. Shout out to you guys. You guys are gnarly. I feel like 3 hours. I guess it's like I'm riding a bike, so it's different. Imagine if someone was just riding their bike for 16 hours a day. That'd be crazy. Oh, man. Let's see. We need to practice. We need to practice. Okay, let's see here. Oh yeah. Huh. How does Trevor Meyer do that thing? Okay, so he's doing it differently. He does it like, how does he do it? He does it like this, and then he. Actually, I guess I'll just keep learning it this way. He's doing something different. I know he's like going like. He's pivoting the same way that I'm pivoting. I'm trying to learn like it kind of like Trevor Meyer, but I'm skipping a step because I'm just starting it like this. He does a flip. Oh yeah, that's how he does it. He goes like this. He starts off like this. And then like. That's how he does it. Oh, it's this dude. Holy moly, bro. Your setup is gnarly, bro. Dude, this dude's riding a 10 by 10 square foot area. What in the... What in the... Let's try and do some sidelines, I guess. Do I have any charging? Darn, that's not charged up. Yeah, that's okay. Let's try and start outside. I don't have my chargers charged up. It's crazy because Julian's actually riding in a smaller area than this garage. Man, you guys are on the grind too. Holy moly. You guys are gnarly, dude. What the? What the heck? Wow. Squirrels used to be good pets. They used to be very good pets. How long have we been streaming for? Oh, we've almost been streaming for 2 hours, okay. Alright, let's see if we can land some fire hydrants. See if we can beat the record. My personal record, anyway. Trying to go for 5. I'll only ride for a little bit more. I'm like tired now. Yeah, I'm tired. I want to keep riding, but I'm tired. I'm just dehydrated. Dude, how did I do that one yesterday? That's crazy. Oh, I forgot we were trying that boomerang line too. Kind of stopped doing it, huh? Ooh, that was crazy. I'm so close to it. This feels so hard. So close. Alright, just do straight, just double. Trick is fun. Happy doggy. Oh yeah, we were working on funky chicken toes. Funky chicken toes. so hard. Just run out of energy. I'm like doing something majorly wrong. I gotta like put my body weight on this tire. I start panicking for some reason. I just chill out and just focus on the legs of the funky chicken towel. I gotta like put my weight on this tire. That's what I need to get good at. It's so weird. That's what I need to practice. Whoa. Oh, farewell, everybody. I'm tired. I'm worn out. We landed 2 lines today, though. Oh. We did a Bible study, so that's cool. Okay, let's see here. What verse are we going to leave it? A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, and favor is better than silver or gold. The rich and the poor meet together. The Lord is the maker of them all. Proverbs 22, verses 1 through 2. Farewell, everybody. I hope you have a good weekend. Anybody that watches this.